So, Dennis, if you can, hi there.
Hey,
How are you?
very good. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Oh
I'm
my
so glad
gosh.
you're here.
Well, one, thank you for the invitation. Two, this the entire concept that you, even before I get started with the testimonial, the entire concept and the meditation we just went through is so lovely and so all-encompassing. And on the concepts before our meditation, I have a lot of notes and a lot of highlights that I wrote down. And and then within those highlights, I have details that support all the concepts that you were talking about. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it was it. So I just want to say thank you for everything you do. Your skill set is amazing, and I know we'll get into it a little bit more. And it's it's really fabulous. So thanks for the invitation to talk a little bit today.
Oh, it's my
Yeah.
pleasure. I'm happy you're here because people don't always know like what it means to like how it changes your life. And you have had such some amazing and spectacular change and
Mm,
transformation, which has affected your life through our
yes.
work together. So I just thought it'd be really helpful to people to hear from you a little bit about how, what some of the work you've done and how it's helped you, how it's helped change your life and improve your relationships and whatever else. It's
Yes, let me
share.
just start with how I first originally met Lori, which was very interesting because for the last 5+ years or so, I've been very broadly and deeply into the metaphysical spiritual community and really taking a look at all of the items and that can happen in that metaphysical space and all the practitioners and how they bring that to the world. And of course, as we know, we've had a lot of everything virtual go virtual. And so that's been a win-win for the practitioners and also for the folks that are searching and seeking, because we got to see everybody a whole lot more where normally you'd just be able to read a book or go see someone in person. So I went to a lot of different webinars, 1 and 3 days, and some were a week. And so one of the week-long sessions, people would be on there for an hour and they would talk. And then there was a panel of four or five, maybe it was 4 or 5 or 6 different folks that are very, very respected in their field and all ranging in a comprehensive fashion within their field. And the question was asked to them, and excuse me a second. And there was about, all 5 or 6 of them tried to answer the question, and really you can see they were struggling with it, but that's okay. They realized that they were struggling with it, and they really didn't know how to get to the question or even how to even start addressing the root cause of that, let alone what might even be a solution. And so usually their programs were an hour, and this went a little longer than an hour. Well, the next person up, I haven't met this person before. The next person up was Lori. And so she must have been listening to the panelists and stuff like that. And so they brought Lori on. And because that topic was so near and dear to everyone's heart, Lori just jumped in and started talking about the topic. And here's root cause. Here's some avenues and suggestions on how to solve it or take a look at it. And one, we you could just feel all the folks that are watching this are like in awe and like, wow. And then the panelists themselves were also in awe of what Lori was doing and how she was going about doing it and really creating safe space for everyone and the panelists and everyone else listening. And I said, oh my gosh, I need to find out a little bit more about Lori and stuff. And so that's how I first met Lori, on how she resolved and took a look at an issue that was seemingly very easy for her to look at while everybody else was struggling with it. And so that was just the pre-work. I know I didn't even get to
That's
answer your
awesome,
question
Dennis.
yet.
You know what? I don't even, I have, it's okay. Like, I want you to share more about your experience, but I have
Yes,
no
I
idea.
will.
Like, well, I've been on so many panels. I have no idea what you're referring to, but that's awesome. And I never heard that story from you. So thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's
And
cool.
jumping a little forward, let me answer the question now. Is that I learned more about her. I went to take a look at some of the books and the webinars, and then also I went on a my first retreat. It was at Mount Shasta with Lori and a lot of other participants. And so I was seeking and seeking and seeking, and was refining my seeking at that time frame. And during that 4 or 5 day seminar, Vincent was there too, and about halfway into the seminar, I was commenting with another gentleman. His name was Leroy, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best seminar. And we're only halfway done, and this is the best seminar I've been to." And how Lori addresses it, and I'll get to that in a second of why I was saying that. And Leroy said, I didn't know his background. Leroy, well, he's been in the metaphysical community 50 plus years. He's owned metaphysical store. He's had tons and tons of practitioners. He's gone to thousands of retreats and online and seminars. And here we're only halfway into the seminar, and Leroy has this incredible background. He said, this is the best seminar I've been to ever. I was like, oh my gosh, if you say that, Leroy, then that tells me a whole lot. Well, okay, now why did both of us come to that same conclusion? Well, let me just look at the notes for a second. The was
You
was
made notes. It's so funny.
well, I made highlights, and the highlights
notes.
I made highlights, but then bring me the notes is because
You're so sweet.
Lori, while we were in a circle, and Lori would say, all right, let's talk about a topic, or does anyone have something to bring up? And someone would bring up a real, it's this very sacred space and a very personal, very tough issue that they had, and a lot of complexities. And Lori honored that person and started working with that person. And Lori was also saying, I'm helping this person, but everyone else really listen and go along, because there'll be things in here that'll apply to you in certain ways and in lots of ways. And we all really understood that and took that deeply into our heart. Well, anyways, she would address that issue real time. We would then get to a place where we would do a shorter meditation to help clear out whatever that issue was. And so we were all feeling revived and generally just fabulous because of that question that was, and then Lori's skill set. And she did that continuously in real time fashion with folks with real issues. And so I just applauded that. And that's why I came to that conclusion halfway into that seminar, and Leroy did too. So hopefully,
I just want to say, I love that you said that, because a lot of people don't always realize like the brilliance of a small group coaching container, coaching and mentorship, healing, sacred circle like that. When it's in a group dynamic, how much, exponential growth you can have, because ultimately we do all carry very similar wounds and traumas, even though we are all unique with our own unique brilliance and magnificence. One person's wounding and trauma generally does that. The energy of that is in everyone. And so in a group dynamic, I can be working with one person. I can work on the whole group. It's really cool. I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, very much so. And so it was just, what a great program. And so
tell people though about your experience.
Okay, so now my experience.
That's really where your big breakthrough.
Okay, well now here's where I'll get to. Then I had there was another fast forward some more time. Lori had another program in Sarasota, and I was really narrowing down all the metaphysical spiritual area where I was doing my seeking. The particular practitioners I was working with, and Lori was in that very small group, because I said I really wanted to continually work with Lori, and I knew I had issues. However, I might have been under my own mass hypnosis to not know what my issues were. And after the Sarasota group, I continually met and talked with Lori, and then I've also then personally wanted to have a one-on-one session with her. So she doesn't do that often, and I know that. And so I said, I wanted to do in person one-on-one session. It wasn't virtual, because being in 2 other seminars before. And so what I was wanting to work on was when I was growing up, my family. I had a lot of big family deaths in my family, and so it was a family of 4. Then my older brother, my dad, I was 9, my dad died. And then when I was 16, my older brother, who's 4 years older than me, he died. So I went from a family of four to three to two. So at a very early age, at 9, I had to perform and act like an adult because of the issues of just what needed to be happening in the family. And I took on that role very excellently. At the same time, what did I have to push to the side while I was performing and acting and doing adult type of duties? And that was my childhood. And so Lori really helped me get through understanding of securing my childhood and letting my child come out and letting my inner child, really feel the love. And so many things occurred. I'll fast forward a little bit in that. However, the culmination was really, I got to feel my self-love. And with the self-love and the self-love of my child, I got to experience my childhood in a way that I really didn't experience a childhood before. And so I've done lots of little writings. I do have two very short ones I want to read. They're very short, but however, they're very applicable. One is about self-love and one will be just about love.
But are you sharing your experience? Is this what you're doing?
Yes, I'm sharing my experience
I
of
want to,
self-love.
I think that you, okay, go on.
Okay, I think this addresses it real quick of how I understand this one. The selfless was around the Thanksgiving time, and my love was around the holidays and New Year's time. It's very short, both of them. And I said to everybody, I said, "Happy Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Everything starts with self-love, so enjoy and appreciate your Thanksgiving. Your Thanksgiving will then be smoother and spirited for all to enjoy." And along that path with the self-love that helps everybody, when it came to the holidays, this was just this past Thanksgiving that came to the holidays and New Year's, I wrote something also very short. And this is about love. Love is the core of everything. Everything starts and ends with love. Love is continuous. Be love. Be your being. Be your being. Be love. And I really want to say all of that was based on my work with Lori, because of the love that she would work with that situation and help me. And I was bawling and crying, and I'm even tearing up right now as I'm talking about it. However, I feel so much joy and love and peace. And when Lori was just summing up our meditation right now, where she said, "You really want to have healthy, fulfilling, rewarding relationships." Well, my biggest relationship was a rewarding relationship with myself. I needed that. I didn't have it. And it was my shadow aspect that I didn't even know about. And now that I know about it, I was like, that's the rewarding relationship. If I can have that with myself, I can have that with anybody. Mutual respect.
Dennis, that's so sweet.
Oh, go, yeah.
No, that's so sweet. You're such a sweetheart. I didn't know what direction you were going in with that when you were reading, because I know sometimes
Yes.
a lot of writings, but that was really lovely.
Yeah, just short ones. Yeah, I don't not go into any of the long ones. I know.
Well,
You're like, okay, I only have a couple more minutes.
That's so amazing writing. But
Yeah.
I just mostly wanted people to get a sense that that you've had some breakthroughs with your sense of
Yes.
self-worth, self-love,
Huge.
self-value. And I think that's been transformational for you. So I wanted people to get a sense of that, because we don't always realize, we have learned as a society, we have learned to operate to survive. We have learned how to behave in certain ways so we can survive. And we have to shut down parts of ourselves a lot of times so that we can survive. And until we're really safe and we know we're not operating from survival anymore, those parts of us that have been shut down can't reveal themselves. And I think that's what you've just shown everybody.
Yes.
And that's what you've communicated. I'm just reinterpreting it, but
Yes.
so true, because we're operating so much of our lives and our reality. We're operating on autopilot. or semi-conscious, because that's the programming that we needed to do in order to survive and thrive, ultimately make it in this world of density. But that is not where the fulfillment comes from. That's not where the joy comes. Like, we can't access the joy that is within us when we're in those contracted states, when we're operating that way. So I think your sharing was really beautiful. You helped people to see that. So
Oh, great. And those very short ones I'll put in the chat too, so people can see those words also. And
okay,
so
that was
I
great.
again thank you for inviting me, Lori. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
What would you say to anybody who was considering working with me or coming to the Sacred Visionary Mentorship?
I would say challenge yourself, explore. If you know yourself or you don't know yourself or your shadow self, there might be some issues that we know the ego can do anything and is so powerful that it can wash away all the issues. And if that's okay, then that's the ego you're working with. However, if you really want to kind of step out of the ego and say, okay, ego, I'm going to give you a job. Um, I'm go off to the side, but I want to take a look at something else besides just this 3D denseness, this duality polarity issue. Lori has the skill set and the patience and the safe space and sacredness to really help you with that.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you,
being
Lori.
here.
Thank you,
Very
Lori.
grateful to
I
you.
appreciate
Much
it.
love. Okay.
Okay, see you. Bye bye.